There's a dangerous misunderstanding most Christians live with, and almost nobody talks about it. You can believe in God, go to church, pray occasionally, and still not be led by the Spirit. That sounds uncomfortable, but it's biblical, because there's a difference between being around God and being filled by God. Most people think being a Christian is about what you believe, but the truth is, Spirit-filled believers are revealed by how they live. And if you miss this, you won't just feel stuck. You'll think you're growing when you're actually standing still. So today, I'm going to show you the habits of Spirit-filled believers, the ones most Christians overlook. And as we go through these, you're going to recognize where you are. Let's start with the first one. Number 1, they protect their inner environment. Most people try to fix their life from the outside. Better habits, better routines, better results. But Spirit-filled believers start somewhere else, inside, because they understand something most people miss. Your life doesn't come from your circumstances. It flows from your spirit. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Above all else, guard your heart." Above all else. Not your money, not your reputation, your heart. Why? Because whatever enters your heart eventually shapes your life. Spirit-filled believers are careful about what they listen to, what they watch, who they allow to influence them. Not because they're afraid, but because they're aware. They know not everything deserves access to their spirit. Number 2, they respond to conviction, not just emotion. Here's something most Christians confuse. Emotion is not the same as the Holy Spirit. You can feel inspired, moved, even emotional during worship, and still ignore conviction. But Spirit-filled believers don't just feel God. They follow Him. When they feel that quiet correction, that inner nudge, they don't ignore it. They adjust. Because here's the truth most people avoid. Growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from correction. And conviction is God's way of guiding you without forcing you. Most people feel it, then scroll past it. Spirit-filled believers feel it and obey. Number 3, they choose discipline over feelings. This is where most people fall off. Because feelings are easy, discipline is not. Most Christians wait until they feel like praying, feel like reading the Bible, feel like changing. But Spirit-filled believers understand something deeper. Feelings change, but obedience builds. 1 Timothy 4:7 says, "Discipline yourself for the purpose of godliness." Discipline, not convenience. They pray when it's quiet. They read when it feels dry. They stay consistent when nothing feels exciting. Because they know the Spirit doesn't grow in emotional moments. It grows in consistent ones. Number 4, they value peace over noise. Have you ever noticed some people are always surrounded by chaos, drama, confusion, noise, and others, even in difficult situations, carry peace? That's not personality, that's alignment. Spirit-filled believers are not led by pressure. They are led by peace. Colossians 3:15 says, "Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts." That means peace decides. If something removes their peace, they don't ignore it. They pause, they discern. Because here's what most people miss. God doesn't lead through confusion. He leads through clarity. Number 5, they don't give everyone access to their spirit. This one is hard, but it's necessary. Most people think being loving means being available to everyone. But that's not what Jesus did. He loved everyone. But He didn't give everyone access. Spirit-filled believers understand access is influence, and influence shapes direction. So they are careful with relationships, careful with conversations, careful with energy, not because they're cold, but because they're wise. Because not every connection builds you. Some slowly drain you. And discernment is protection. Number 6, they move even when they don't feel ready. Here's one of the biggest myths in the Christian life. I'll move when I'm ready. But the Bible never teaches readiness, it teaches faith. 2 Corinthians 5:7 says, "We walk by faith, not by sight." Faith means moving without full clarity. Spirit-filled believers don't wait for perfect confidence. They move with quiet trust, even when they're unsure, even when it's uncomfortable. Because they know God doesn't reveal the whole path. He reveals the next step. And most people stay stuck, not because they lack direction, but because they're waiting for certainty. Number 7, they are constantly renewing their mind. Most people try to change their life without changing how they think. But that never works, because your life will always follow your mindset. Romans 12:2 says, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Not once, daily. Spirit-filled believers are aware of their thoughts. They catch negative patterns. They challenge lies. They replace noise with truth, because they understand something powerful. Your mind is the battlefield, and what wins there shows up everywhere else. Now here's the part most people don't expect. None of these habits are dramatic. There's no spotlight, no applause, no instant results, just quiet consistency, daily choices, small alignments, invisible growth. And that's why most people miss it. They're looking for big moments, while God is building them through small ones. So let's bring this together. Spirit-filled believers, guard their heart. Respond to conviction, choose discipline. Follow peace, limit access. Move in faith, renew their mind. Not perfectly, but consistently. And over time, that consistency becomes clarity. That clarity becomes direction. That direction becomes transformation. So here's the question you need to ask yourself. Not, do I believe in God? But do my habits reflect His Spirit? Because belief starts the journey. But habits reveal the truth. If this opened your eyes, type aligned in the comments. Just that one word. Because awareness is the first step. But alignment is what changes everything. And if you're ready to go deeper, stay connected. Because the next level of your life will require a stronger version of your spirit.